OceanGate Expeditions' Rory Golden, who's been on 4 Titanic expeditions.
Now, scientists have even seen the iceberg damage that doomed the Titanic.
Have you ever wondered if everything you heard about the Titanic is true? This legendary ship, known for its tragic maiden voyage, has captivated us for over a century. But what if there's more to the story? Get ready to dive into a sea of intriguing theories that might just turn the tale of the Titanic on its head. Number 1. The switch theory. Picture this. It's 1912, and the world's largest and most luxurious ship, the Titanic, is about to embark on its maiden voyage. But wait, is it really the Titanic? Here's where things get a bit fishy. Some folks believe that the Titanic never actually sank. Instead, they say it was its sister ship, the Olympic, disguised as the Titanic, all part of a grand insurance scam. Sounds like a plot from a movie, right? But let's dive a little deeper into this ocean of mystery. The Olympic and the Titanic were practically twins, built by the same company, White Star Line, and were almost identical in appearance. The theory suggests that the Olympic, which had been in a few accidents, was swapped with the brand new Titanic. Why? Money, of course. The Olympic was already damaged goods, and it's alleged that fixing her up would cost more than she was worth. So, the company hatched a plan, swap the ships, and sink the fake Titanic to claim a hefty insurance payout. But how could they pull off such a switch, you might ask? Well, it's said that it wouldn't have been too hard. A few swapped lifeboats here, a few changed nameplates there, and voila, the Olympic becomes the Titanic. The theory even suggests that the crew might have been in on it, sworn to secrecy under threat of losing their jobs. Now, hold on a second. Sinking a ship with thousands on board just for insurance money? That's cold, even by 1912 standards. But conspiracy theorists point to certain details that they believe support this theory. For instance, there's talk about the portholes on the ships. Supposedly, the Olympic had a different number of portholes than the Titanic, and photos taken of the Titanic before its voyage show a porthole configuration that matches the Olympic. Then there's the testimony of survivors.
There was something about the Titanic. It was so very formal. It was so stiff.
Some recall seeing the letters MP on the Titanic's dishes and towels. Could this be a reference to the Olympic's original name, the RMS Olympic, hastily covered up but still peeking through? Critics of the theory argue that while the ships were similar, they weren't identical. The interiors were different, and the Olympic had a visible dent that the Titanic didn't. Plus, the logistics of swapping 2 gigantic ships and keeping it a secret among hundreds of workers seem, well, a bit far-fetched. But let's not forget the human element. If this was indeed a scam, it went horribly wrong. The idea was supposedly to stage a minor accident that would damage the ship but not harm the passengers. Then, nearby ships would swoop in for a dramatic rescue. However, the iceberg had other plans, and the fake Titanic sank too quickly for help to arrive in time. The aftermath of the sinking saw 2 inquiries, one by the United States Senate and the other by the British Wreck Commissioner. Both concluded it was indeed the Titanic that sank. But for those who subscribe to the switch theory, these inquiries were just part of the cover-up, a way to solidify the deception in history. It's also worth noting that the Titanic and Olympic had different insurance policies with different companies. The payout White Star Line received for the Titanic's sinking didn't even cover the full cost of the ship. So, from a financial standpoint, the supposed scam seems like a pretty bad deal. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the switch theory persists. It's fueled by human curiosity and our love for a good mystery. After all, the Titanic story has everything: luxury, tragedy, and now a dash of intrigue. Whether you believe the theory or not, it adds another layer to the already rich tapestry of the Titanic's history. In the end, the switch theory, like many conspiracy theories, leaves us with more questions than answers. Did White Star Line really swap the ships? Was it all an elaborate insurance scam gone wrong? Or is this just another tall tale from the depths of human imagination? The truth, much like the Titanic, lies buried in the past, leaving us to ponder and speculate over what might have been. Number 2. The Mummy's Curse. Now, if the switch theory seemed like a wild ride, brace yourself for a journey into the supernatural. Among the many theories surrounding the Titanic, there's one that stands out for its sheer spine-tingling eeriness: the curse of an ancient Egyptian mummy. Yes, you heard that right, a mummy, on the Titanic, cursing it. It sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, doesn't it? But let's unwrap this mystery and see what lies beneath. The story goes like this. Among the luxurious items and wealthy passengers aboard the Titanic was a cursed Egyptian mummy, or rather, its sarcophagus lid. This wasn't just any mummy, mind you. It was said to be that of an Egyptian priestess, and it came with a reputation for bringing misfortune and death to those who dared to possess it. This mummy had quite a history before supposedly boarding the Titanic. It was initially discovered in Egypt and made its way to the British Museum. Legend has it that the mummy brought bad luck to everyone who came in contact with it. There were tales of people mysteriously dying, seeing ghostly apparitions, and experiencing endless misfortunes. So naturally, when word got out that this harbinger of doom was on the Titanic, people connected the dots. A cursed mummy on a ship that met a tragic end. It was too much of a coincidence for some, but here's where things get a bit murky. The British Museum firmly denies that the mummy was ever in their collection, let alone aboard the Titanic. In fact, they have been quite adamant about debunking this myth, stating that they never had a cursed mummy to begin with. According to them, the whole story is a concoction of overactive imaginations and sensational journalism. Despite the museum's denials, the story persisted. It was fueled by people's fascination with ancient curses and the mystique of the Titanic. The theory even got some credibility when a few respected figures of the time claimed to have seen the mummy or its sarcophagus aboard the ship. But wait, let's think about this logically. The Titanic was a marvel of modern engineering, setting sail on its maiden voyage with great fanfare. Would they really have risked everything for an ancient artifact, cursed or not? And let's not forget the logistics of transporting such an item. A sarcophagus is not exactly a suitcase. It's huge, heavy, and hardly inconspicuous. Moreover, the Titanic's cargo manifest, which was meticulously recorded, makes no mention of a mummy or anything remotely similar. Now, conspiracy theorists might argue that the manifest could have been altered or that the mummy was smuggled aboard in secret. But again, that seems like a stretch, doesn't it? The idea of a curse also raises a more philosophical question. Do we, as humans, tend to look for supernatural explanations for tragic events? The sinking of the Titanic was a massive shock to the world. It was a symbol of human achievement, thought to be unsinkable. When it did sink, it shattered many people's belief in progress and technology. Perhaps the mummy's curse is a way for us to make sense of such an incomprehensible disaster, to find a reason, however fantastical, for why it happened. In the end, the mummy's curse remains a tantalizing story, a blend of history, mystery, and the supernatural. It adds an exotic and eerie flavor to the Titanic's tale, tempting us to believe in the power of ancient curses and the possibility of their reaching out across time to change the course of history. Whether the curse of the mummy is real or just a myth, it underscores our endless fascination with the Titanic. It's a story that continues to capture our imagination 100 years later with its blend of historical fact, legend, and lore. The mummy's curse may be just a footnote in the Titanic story, but it's a reminder of the ship's enduring legacy as a vessel that continues to sail through our collective imagination, shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Number 3. The time travel theory. Just when you thought the Titanic's tales couldn't get more bizarre, welcome to the world of time travel. Yes, you read that right. Some folks out there believe that the Titanic disaster was actually averted, not by luck or chance, but by time travelers. It's a theory that stretches the imagination, weaving science fiction into historical events. So, grab your temporal maps and let's journey through this mind-bending hypothesis. The theory suggests that time travelers, armed with the knowledge of the Titanic's doomed fate, journeyed back to 1912 to prevent the disaster. It's a heroic and noble mission, but like any good story, it's not without its twists. Proponents of this theory point to various anachronisms and oddities in photographs and survivor accounts as evidence of time travelers' presence on the Titanic. For starters, let's talk about the photographs. Some argue that certain passengers in Titanic photos seem out of place for the 1910s. Their clothes or hairstyles appear too modern, or they're holding objects that look suspiciously like future gadgets. Could these be time travelers caught on camera, inadvertently revealing their true origins? Then there are the survivor accounts. Some stories from the survivors describe mysterious individuals who seemingly appeared out of nowhere to help or warn passengers and crew. These accounts are often vague and second-hand, but they've fueled speculation. Could these mysterious individuals have been time travelers on a mission to save lives? But let's hit the pause button for a moment. Time travel, as fascinating as it is, remains a concept firmly rooted in the realm of science fiction. The laws of physics, as we understand them today, don't permit time travel to the past. So the very foundation of this theory is, to put it mildly, scientifically shaky. Furthermore, if time travelers did prevent the Titanic disaster, wouldn't history have changed? We still know the Titanic as a tragic maritime disaster, not as a near miss or a miraculous save. For the time travel theory to hold up, we'd have to entertain the idea of parallel universes or an ability to change the past without altering the present, concepts that are thrilling in sci-fi novels but highly speculative in real-world physics. Critics of the theory also point out that what some perceive as anachronisms in photographs can often be explained by lesser-known fashion trends or photographic anomalies. And as for the survivor accounts, human memory is notoriously unreliable, especially in high-stress situations like the sinking of the Titanic. It's possible that these mysterious individuals were simply crew members or passengers who were less known or who acted bravely in the face of disaster. Despite its implausibility, the time travel theory about the Titanic holds a certain allure. It's human nature to be fascinated by what-ifs. What if the Titanic never sank? What if it was a moment in history that could be changed? These questions open up endless possibilities for speculation and imagination. In the end, the time travel theory, like many conspiracy theories, is a blend of fact, fiction, and the longing for alternate realities where tragedies can be averted. Whether you see it as a fascinating hypothesis or a far-fetched fantasy, it adds another layer to the Titanic's enduring legacy, a legacy that continues to inspire, intrigue, and invite us to explore the endless what-ifs of history. Number 4, the advanced technology hypothesis. In the grand tapestry of Titanic theories, there's a thread that stands out for its blend of historical intrigue and technological mystery, the advanced technology hypothesis. This theory suggests that the Titanic's fate was not due to an iceberg collision, but rather a catastrophic failure involving experimental technology. Think early forms of radar, futuristic machinery, or other cutting-edge innovations of the early 20th century. It's a theory that takes us into the realm of what might have been, blending the historical with the hypothetical. The premise of this theory hinges on the idea that the Titanic, being the most luxurious and advanced ship of its time, was equipped with experimental technology not yet known to the public. Some proponents of this theory suggest that the Titanic was testing an early form of radar or sonar designed to detect objects underwater. The theory goes that this technology malfunctioned, leading to the ship's untimely demise. Others take a slightly different angle, proposing that the Titanic was part of a secret experiment involving electromagnetic technology. This experiment, they claim, went horribly wrong, resulting in the ship's disappearance. According to this version of the theory, the sinking of the Titanic was a cover-up for a much larger technological catastrophe. But how plausible is this theory? To evaluate it, we need to consider the technological context of the early 1900s. While it's true that the Titanic was a marvel of its time, featuring state-of-the-art technology for navigation and communication, the kind of advanced technologies proposed by this theory were not yet in practical use. Radar, for instance, wouldn't be developed until the 1930s, well after the Titanic's maiden voyage. Furthermore, the extensive investigations conducted after the Titanic's sinking provided no evidence of any experimental technology on board. The inquiries focused on the causes of the sinking and the loss of life, examining everything from the ship's design to the actions of its crew. Yet, there was no mention of any secret technology or experiments gone awry. Critics of the advanced technology hypothesis also point to the practical considerations of conducting such a high-stakes experiment on a passenger liner. The Titanic was carrying over 2,200 passengers and crew, many of them prominent figures. It seems unlikely that a secret, potentially dangerous technological test would be carried out in such a public and risky setting. Despite its lack of concrete evidence, the allure of the advanced technology hypothesis lies in its combination of historical what-ifs and the allure of secret technological experiments. It taps into our fascination with hidden histories and the possibility that the past holds secrets yet to be uncovered. In the end, the advanced technology hypothesis remains a compelling but unproven addition to the myriad of stories surrounding the Titanic. It invites us to wonder about the technological capabilities of the past and the lengths to which people might go in the pursuit of innovation. Whether viewed as a plausible scenario or a fanciful tale, this theory adds yet another layer of intrigue to the enduring mystery of the Titanic. Number 5. The alien intervention theory. Just when you thought we'd explored all the wild theories surrounding the Titanic, here comes perhaps the most outlandish one of them all, the alien intervention theory. That's right. Some people believe that extraterrestrial beings played a role in the Titanic's fate. According to this theory, aliens either prevented a greater disaster from occurring or, more dramatically, transported the entire ship to another realm or time. It's a theory that takes us out of the depths of the ocean and into the vastness of space. So let's buckle up and explore this cosmic possibility. The proponents of this theory argue that there were several unexplained phenomena associated with the Titanic's sinking that point to alien involvement. They cite reports of strange lights in the sky or bizarre weather patterns on the night the ship sank. Some even go as far as to suggest that the iceberg was a mere cover story, and what the Titanic actually encountered was something otherworldly. One version of this theory posits that extraterrestrial beings were monitoring Earth and, seeing the impending disaster, intervened in some way. They might have done this by creating a temporal field that altered the course of events, effectively saving the Titanic from a worse fate, or by rescuing some passengers and crew and transporting them to safety in another dimension. Another, even more imaginative variant suggests that the Titanic was teleported away by aliens at the moment it struck the iceberg, possibly as part of an intergalactic collection of historical artifacts or as a study subject for alien researchers. According to this theory, the ship that lies at the bottom of the Atlantic is either a replica left behind by the aliens or another ship entirely. Now, it's important to take a step back and consider the feasibility of such claims. First and foremost, there is no concrete evidence to support the idea of alien involvement in the Titanic's fate. The accounts of strange lights or weather could be attributed to more mundane, earthly phenomena, such as the northern lights or unusual meteorological conditions. Moreover, the science of extraterrestrial life, while a fascinating field, has yet to provide definitive proof of intelligent alien civilizations, let alone their ability to travel across the vast distances of space to interact with humans. The logistics of an alien spacecraft intervening in a maritime disaster on Earth presents a multitude of scientific challenges and unknowns. Critics of the alien intervention theory also point out that it relies heavily on speculation and a penchant for sensationalism. The Titanic's sinking has been thoroughly investigated and documented, with a clear chain of events leading to the tragedy. The introduction of extraterrestrial elements into this narrative is seen by many as an unnecessary complication that detracts from the real historical and human aspects of the disaster. Despite its lack of grounding in scientific evidence, the alien intervention theory taps into our enduring fascination with the unknown and the unexplained. It reflects a human tendency to look to the stars for answers and to imagine what might lie beyond our understanding. The idea of aliens interacting with one of the most iconic maritime disasters in history is undeniably intriguing, even if it stretches the boundaries of credibility. In the end, the alien intervention theory remains a fantastical addition to the lore of the Titanic. It invites us to dream and speculate about the possibilities of the universe and our place within it. While it may not offer a plausible explanation for the Titanic's sinking, it certainly adds an extra layer of mystery and wonder to a story that has captivated the world for over a century. Number 6. Fact versus fiction. After delving into the myriad of conspiracy theories surrounding the Titanic, from switched ships and cursed mummies to time travel and alien intervention, it's time to step back and critically analyze these tales. How do they stack up against the known historical facts? And what does their popularity tell us about the allure of conspiracy theories in general? Let's start with the switch theory, which posits that the Titanic was swapped with its sister ship, the Olympic, as part of an insurance scam. While intriguing, this theory crumbles under scrutiny. The Olympic and Titanic, though similar, had notable differences that would have been difficult to disguise. Moreover, the financial logistics don't add up. The insurance payout for the Titanic didn't cover its construction costs. The theory also overlooks the extensive evidence collected during the inquiries that followed the sinking, all pointing to the fact that it was indeed the Titanic that met its tragic end. Moving on to the mummy's curse, this theory falls squarely into the realm of supernatural speculation. The British Museum has consistently denied ever having a cursed Egyptian mummy, let alone one that was on the Titanic. While the idea of a curse adds an eerie and mystical element to the Titanic story, there's no concrete evidence to support it, making it more a product of human imagination than historical fact. The time travel theory is perhaps the most fantastical, suggesting that time travelers altered the Titanic's fate. This theory is a creative blend of science fiction and historical what-ifs, but it lacks any basis in scientific reality. As of our current understanding, time travel remains a concept of fiction, not fact. The theory also fails to account for the well-documented events that led to the Titanic's sinking. Then there's the advanced technology hypothesis, which surmises that the Titanic was a victim of experimental technology gone awry. Again, while this theory plays into fascinating ideas about hidden histories and technological advances, there is no historical evidence to support the presence of such technology on the Titanic. The investigations into the disaster focused on tangible factors like the ship's design and the actions of its crew, with no mention of any secret experiments. Lastly, the alien intervention theory stands out for its sheer creativity, suggesting extraterrestrial involvement in the Titanic's fate. While this theory captures the imagination, it is wholly unsupported by any credible evidence. It's a theory more suited to science fiction narratives than to serious historical analysis.